messages. I have 5 video messages.
Friends, on this occasion of celebrating 50 years since the satellite instructional television experiment began. That was the beginning of transmission to our villages, to our cities, and for the first time establishing a national network. But the efforts for the satellite instructional television experiment had started very much earlier. The effort that was started by Dr. Sarabhai, Professor Chitnis, was already going on, and I joined in that effort in 1968. So it has been a very, very long time since we were all working to make certain that the satellite instructional television experiment really takes place as planned and meeting its technical and social objectives. All of us at that time were very young. Very few, even younger than me, might have studied satellite communications in their colleges. We never got the chance to study in the college this kind of a subject. It was all definitely practical knowledge, working on the job kind of a situation. NASA was developing the ATS-6 satellite, and I was fortunate to be able to participate when the satellite was in development, when the satellite was being utilized, and also the development and deployment of all of our ground segment. It was really a very, very fulfilling experience for all of us. Even the village selection itself was a challenge to make certain that the electricity was available in public places, in the schools. We had to actually mount what we called at that time as Operation Electricity. When we wanted to get the information back from the villages that there was something wrong, I think it was Mr. Bhatia and Arup Dasgupta, they designed a simple postcard on which we had pictorially shown 4 or 5 different types of faults, and that postcard would come to our offices for the site. So many new things which we did at that particular time. Looking back, I really feel that all of us should be really proud of the work that we carried out. And on this occasion, I definitely want to congratulate all the people who participated in site. Recently, when we celebrated the 100th birthday for Professor Chitnis and held a conference here in Pune, Kiran Karnik had shared that NASA people had even commented on one particular thing that did not happen. And what did not happen was that we did not lose even a single minute of transmission throughout the year. That itself really indicated to all of us this kind of a comment that yes, we had developed a proper discipline of broadcasting, and we made certain that things happened on time. We were able to maintain these television sets in the villages. It was not a simple task, but it was a task which we had undertaken and which we had completed. Site marked the beginning of our use of the satellite communications for all of our educational needs, communication needs, and 50 years later, we are seeing that something more and more will happen. Yesterday's launch of the Nisar satellite really indicates to me that yes, there is scope for international cooperation and we can do many more things together. Thank you very much.
friends, a very good evening to you all on this auspicious day, the 1st of August. 50 years ago, on this day, we started a program called Satellite Instruction Television Experiment in collaboration with NASA. 50 years ago, when television had not reached even the 4 metros, we succeeded in taking television to 2,400 backward villages in 6 districts of India using the power of the NASA satellite ATS-6. This was a wonderful achievement. On this great day, let us remember the late Professor Vikram Sarabhai, who had the imagination to use space for the good of man, and in particular the good for Indians. Also, let us remember Professor Yashpal, who led us in this great endeavor, Professor E.V. Chitnis, whose 100th birthday we celebrated just a few days ago. Let us also remember the many people who worked with us. Let us remember that this site experiment was a real total experiment, what we used to call the end-to-end experiment, where technologists, scientists, social scientists, program producers, social activists, and social researchers all came together to see if we could do such an experiment which would at least try to show the path for the improvement of the neglected and difficult to reach people of our country. People living in the villages, people who are not in a position to enjoy the fruits of technology. That is what we had done 50 years ago, and that is what we are celebrating today. So, friends, I wish you all the best for this celebration and congratulate you that you could think of getting together and celebrating this event on this auspicious occasion. All my best wishes are with you. May we live to see the use of space technology for the betterment of mankind, of the betterment of our country. Thank you. Namaskar.
Friends, let me begin by congratulating you all on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of SITE. SITE was a very major step taking forward and introducing satellite broadcasting to our country. This was followed by a flood of private channels and also the national and the regional networks. So it was really a revolutionary experiment in which all of us had the opportunity to participate. One of the major things for SITE, which we all participated, was identification of villages where the DRS would be installed. First, the states and the districts were identified based on the criteria of backwardness. And then there was a need to identify villages where DRS would be installed. Now, and we needed information whether the villages had a suitable building where this could be installed or not. And this major activity was done by the involvement of all of you for collecting data from the villages directly. So, having identified the maintenance centers, and within 60 kilometers of the maintenance center, these villages were to be identified. So teams of both engineers and software people visited these villages to collect data on them. And in a period when there was no internet, where there was no other services, we only had to rely on postal and telegraphic services. Even telephones were difficult to get through. Anyway, with the cooperation and hard work of all of you, a total of about 6,000 villages were visited and data was collected to get a building, suitable building where the DRS could be installed and where the antenna would have clear sight. This data was sent by post to Ahmedabad and all analysis was done here, and a total of 2,400 villages were selected. After selection of the villages, of course, this list was given to the deployment, operation and maintenance team, which was then responsible for sending the DRS to the villages and getting them installed there. But even before that, we had to work on getting electricity. We had selected the school buildings, but they did not have electric connection. So again, you people had to work with the state authorities to get electricity to each of the buildings. And then finally, after the villages were selected, building was selected, a person was to be identified to whom this TV set or DRS would be handed over. That was to identify the custodian in each village. For this, again, we had to seek cooperation of the state government to get the names of the custodians. Thus, a very major task spread over 6 states had to be done to identify villages, identify building, get electricity, and identify a person to whom this DRS would be handed over. All this was done with your cooperation. Such a thing is not possible without the more sincere work and hard work of the people in the field. So you people worked hard and got this done, and it is because of this that we could finally install the DRSs, which worked very well, and we could carry out the experiment successfully. I must thank all of you and congratulate all of you for the great effort and cooperation with which you extended during the site. I once again congratulate you on the jubilee of Golden Jubilee of Sight, and I wish all of you a very happy and healthy future. Thank you.
Today marks a momentous occasion, the Golden Jubilee of Sight, a satellite instructional television experiment which pioneered the use of space technology for mass communication and education in India. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all those involved, ISRO, SAT, government agencies, international bodies, and the public who made SITE a success. I had the privilege to work on this groundbreaking project, planning and managing program generation, transmission, and distribution. SITE was not just a project, it became our passion, our purpose, and for many of us, our religion. Launched under the visionary leadership of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and later guided by Professor Satish Dhawan and Professor Yashpal, SITE reached 2,400 villages, making it one of the first large-scale technical and sociological experiment in the world. We had no formal training or prior experience, but a team of young engineers and scientists came together, working tirelessly, often 16 to 18 hours a day. We sacrificed weekends, holidays, even family time, all for the love of sight. We embraced low-cost indigenous solutions. Instead of using 2-inch quad VTRs, we used modified half-inch and 1-inch helical VTRs, which were smaller, cheaper, and more accessible an approach later appreciated by UNESCO, UNDP, ITU, and even Sony Corporation of Japan. Our engineers also developed many broadcasting equipment which were later adapted and used by national broadcasters and ISRO in several of their programs. SITE created a wealth of knowledge and expertise, not just for ISRO, but for India's future broadcasting and satellite programs. DTH, cable TV, EduSat, IPTV, all find their roots in SITE. What we celebrate today is more than 50 years of technology. We celebrate a mindset of innovation, of commitment, of Make in India, long before it was a slogan. For me, SITE remains a timeless symbol of innovation and national pride, a reminder of what dedicated minds can achieve when we didn't just build technology, we built a legacy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ramanan. I joined ESD-SAC during SITE. My greetings to you all. And I think I know all of you very well, but it is possible that some of you either don't know me or not able to recognize me in my current form. This is absolutely fine with me. Divakar had told me to send him a video message, and I told him I'm too small for all this, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. So here is me trying to pour out whatever little I share, whatever I know deep down me about SITE. I joined ESD-SAC in July 1972. I knew nothing of satellite communications. Very soon I realized that none around me knew anything about satellite communications either. So we all were learning, experimenting, developing different subsystems, and of course developing ourselves. Please remember that we were working during the intense license Raj, where importing different components, equipments, test equipment that is, and subsystems were very, very difficult and time consuming. All this led to extremely slow development of the different ground segments that we were involved in, and at times the experience was extremely frustrating. However, through this we learned to adapt, learn work beyond office hours, learn to plan in advance and move forward. The hardware engineers were committed to technological development. Likewise, on the instructional side, the social scientists were committed to developing programs for use by people at large in the area of finance, banking, education, and entertainment. All these activities were ably supported by our administration, finance, and purchase people. Their support to the people at large in the field were very timely and invaluable. Today, none of those who worked in SITE is part of the current workforce. Many have left us forever. However, the knowledge, expertise, and the confidence gained which brought SITE to fruition lives on. This confidence, this knowledge, this expertise has got itself multiplied several times over the years in the area of both space and ground segment, and a range of wide variety of applications, including getting into new fields like manned space missions, etc. Today, on a global stage, ISRO is in a very unique position, and I think it has the knowledge, expertise, and credibility on its side in this esoteric field, and I would be remiss if I did not credit SITE immensely to reach this milestone. I'd like to pay my humble respects to Professor Chitnis and late Professor Dhawan for leading and guiding the site team. I would also like to wish this gathering to spend their time recalling all the nostalgic memories that we all went through in this exciting site project half a century ago. Happy Site Golden Jubilee celebration. Thank you so much.